Hey guys, and welcome to a nut tier list. I'm very excited about this as I think there's not enough nut content on YouTube, so here we are. So this is going to be an extended discussion about me and my friend, which I'm collaborating with, Trentin. He has his own YouTube channel, I'll link it in the description. He hasn't been active on it for a few years, but he has a great archive of gaming videos and Let's Plays, and even a Fallout New Vegas roleplay series, which I implore you to watch. It's great. Yeah, so I'm going to be having a discussion with him, and we're going to be talking about our experiences with nuts, what emotional connections and ties we may have to those nuts, and we're not just going to be thinking about, oh, if there was this perfect world where we could have all the nuts that we wanted. We're thinking about, oh, how are they usually implemented? How are they presented in mixes? And are they good in cooking? You know, stuff like that. This tier list eventually just turned into an extended discussion podcast thing. So before we actually get into the ranking, we have a little bit of discussion about talking how we view and interpret tier lists and talk about how coconut's not a nut. And then we get into the tier list. And after that, we have an extended discussion with another friend of mine. And then it just goes into just talking about whatever, you know? So I hope you enjoy. If you want to skip those certain bits and just get to the tier list, I will have the video segmented and timestamps in the description so you can navigate the video and go to any nut that you want to listen about, or if you just want to tune in for the general discussion, then that will be there too. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and check the timestamps to see what you want to listen to. Yeah, so I'd like to thank Trentin for...
Nuts.
Okay,
Nuts.
he's getting a bit impatient right now.
Nut.
I'd like to thank him
Nut.
for being part of the
Nuts.
video. I'd like to thank my other friend for being part of the video too at the end after the tier list. And I really hope that you guys enjoy, and please join in the discussion in the description. I would love to continue the discussion on nuts. And if you think we missed anything, please flag it up with us. And otherwise, enjoy the video. I'll see ya.
Yeah, I can't sing.
Okay, Caleb, are you ready? Ready, Caleb?
Give me your nut.
Hello?
Give me your nut.
Hey.
Hey.
Well, do you want to be in it, or I was just gonna...
I mean, if we're gonna talk about nuts, I want to talk about like the nuts.
if we're gonna talk about nuts, I want to talk about nuts. Gosh darn it.
Nut ranks. Okay. That doesn't have coconut in.
That's not really a nut, though.
Is coconut a nut?
Well, do you consider it a nut?
Is a coconut?
What other nut has milk in it?
Despite having the word nut in its name, a coconut is a fruit, not a nut.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, it's not a nut.
Imagine if all nuts had, like, milk in it.
I don't think nuts have milk in.
Exactly, coconuts do.
What? Oh, yeah, right.
What?
Yeah, is that? Yeah, they do. Some kind of weird milk.
Well, yeah,
juice.
It's water, and then when it's kind of greeny, and then you get the brown ones, which have the milk in it, because the nutritions have seeped into the water.
Yeah, to make a milk-like substance.
Milk-like substance. MLS. Milk-like substance.
So are we doing the nut ranks tier list?
Yeah, I think we'll go for the nut ranks one.
We got almonds. I have 2 almonds. I think I have blanched almonds and regular almonds.
For the tasting, unfortunately, I only have peanuts, almonds, and cashews.
I have cashew.
By the way,
I have hazelnut.
Nuts are so expensive in Canada.
Nuts are expensive everywhere.
No,
usually.
But they're so expensive in Canada. If you want like 500 grams of nuts, which I usually need like a tower of nuts for my protein, right?
Okay, yeah.
But it's like $22.
200 grams of mixed nuts here is like £2.
Exactly. 500
that's quite...
like 500 or like 800 grams is like $20.
$20.
$20. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready to oh, actually, I was looking at the wrong one. Do we know what those little disc ones are called first?
I think they're pine nuts. Oh, no.
The pill-shaped ones are pine nuts.
Yeah. We have. Can we do like a reverse search? No. Wow, you got M&M.
Kind
Those
of. They're like
small
chocolate
white nuts.
discs. Oh,
Oh
no,
no,
they're
if
more like big Smarties, not M&Ms. I
you
got
type.
confused. Small nut. Small nut.
There's also macadamia nuts.
That's what they're
They
called,
might be
macadamia nuts.
macadamia nuts.
No, I'm talking about
Macadamia nuts.
the small disc ones.
Yeah, macadamia nuts, then peanuts.
No, 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 no.
Then
The macadamia nuts are like the chickpea shaped ones. I'm looking for like the
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
counter.
I think they are macadamia, right? I think they're macadamia nuts. Back in the day.
Back in the day, bounce like my chicks did.
Back in the day. White disc nuts. I think they're macadamia nuts.
No,
I think they are.
I can't say I'm an expert. I think they're like I think they're like the ones that you like heat up and you put it in like stew or soup.
They look.
No, not those
ones.
ones. Those are macadamia nuts. I'm talking about the.
Yeah, they look.
I'm talking about the disc shaped ones.
Yeah, I think they're macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the little discs that you heat up and put in like stew and stuff. It looks like that.
Stew nuts. What?
Oh look, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong somewhere.
They gotta be macadamia nuts, I think.
Well, what are the ones that you posted then?
They're macadamia nuts. Yeah, but
Let's just treat them as macadamia nuts. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're macadamia.
Okay, sorry. You were right.
Almonds. I don't even know what a macadamia.
Okay. Right. Let's just get
Penny?
started.
Yeah.
Okay.
So almonds.
We'll go. Whatever we think they are is how we're gonna treat them.
Yeah, sure. So we're starting with almonds.
Okay. Starting with almonds.
I actually have almonds. I got.
Okay. I have, like I said before, peanuts, almonds, and cashews to taste. But nuts are expensive here, so I'm lacking in ones to taste.
I have that regular almonds and I have blanched almonds.
What's blanched almonds?
I think they're.
I'm just gonna take a sip of water to clean my palate first.
Yeah, the blanched almonds are just, I think, almonds that have been, their skin's off. They're like fully white.
Just peeled almonds.
Pretty much, I think. They don't taste as nice as the regular ones. Also, how are we rating these? Because you can have.
Yeah. I was gonna mention this. So, because whenever I watch tier lists, I feel like people don't understand, or like they have their own way of thinking about the tiers, and they don't like explain it. So to me, C tier is like, it's like okay, it's balanced, right? And then A tier is really good, and then S is like the standout ones. So it's not like super good, it's standout, so it's tied best, or it's in its own kind of thing. Like if I thought that Brazil nuts were amazing, and I also thought pecans were amazing, but they serve two different kind of like, they never compete for each other in my mind, then they would both be S, you know? And then, you know, D's like below, E's like only like a tiny bit of enjoyment, and then F is just bad, dislike.
Yeah, I think mine would be similar, like S stand out, then it's like great, good, C is like balanced, D is like meh, like below average, then E for me is bad, and then F is just like, I hate that, that's horrible.
Oh yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Like E is bad, but it doesn't like, F is like, oh, actively dislike that. Like, I hate the taste, it leaves a bad aftertaste I can't get rid of. It made me feel funny. But E is just like nothing.
It's like
nothing good,
bad.
but it's not actively offensively bad.
Yeah, also how are we rating them, just on how the nuts taste, or like how they are in other things? Because you can have like cakes with nuts in that like complement other things.
I think just overall, what's the best nut, like, to you?
Okay.
Like,
and like
take it, whatever you value in a nut, take that into account. If you value the looks and the texture more than you value what it goes well with, what cooking recipes, what mixes it's usually in, you know?
Yeah. Okay, do you want to do almonds then?
Yeah, so
Have you?
I'm gonna have another almond.
Yeah, I'm having another one. I think almonds, like generally, just eating them, are fine. They don't really taste too much, which can be good. But when they're in like other cooking, they can taste the almond flavor is really good.
Yeah, it's like quite peppy.
You have it a lot in sweets.
Almond Joy.
Really nice marzipan, kind of almondy.
Yeah, I think like
It's nice.
when you just have an almond, like just by itself, and you
Mm.
kind of chew on it, you only really get the taste when you've kind of chewed it and
Yeah,
softened it up,
yeah.
and then you kind of get like just something you crunch on with your molars, and that's where you get the flavor. But it's not like the nut itself is relatively soft. And
Mm.
one thing I
It's,
actually value about the nuts is like how they crack down the middle when you bite into them,
mm.
because they have the seam, and with almonds they just kind of do that easily. But I'd say to me it's like a solid choice because it's versatile. I don't think whenever you have like a mix of like almonds and raisins though, I don't think that works too well. Would you agree?
No, I don't think almonds work that great with raisins.
No, but by themselves they're good and they're like pretty general. They're used in a lot of stuff, so I feel like that kind of just adds to how good they are because they're versatile and they're used in lots of ways too. It's not like more like Brazil nuts where
Mm.
they're like good in a mix, but you don't really see them anywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah, I agree.
for me, I'd probably put them in like
Also, shape-wise, they're cool.
yeah,
They're
shape
nice,
wise
like
they're cool. They're like they make sense
teardrop.
because it's like their aerodynamic shape,
Yeah,
and they got like the rough bark on them, which I don't quite like. I know you got the skinless ones.
I have both. I really like the skinned ones actually. I think they're cool.
Well, actually, I think it does help bring out the flavor when you're chewing it. It's just I don't like them initially, like buying into it.
I think they're good. I think they're a B tier for me.
Oh,
Almonds.
yeah, I had them in B as well.
Oh, cool.
I'd probably say if I have to, within the tier, they're probably a bit higher because they're used in so much stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, it would either be B or A, but I think a high B
Yeah,
would be good.
I really like marzipan, so I'm tempted, but I think for now B, fine.
Yeah.
So next is cashews.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cleanse my palate a bit. I do have cashews with me.
I do have a cashew. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
interesting shape.
They do come in interesting shapes. Mine was like really, like twisted.
Oh.
So you know when you get the almonds and it's like they're only half there, and then there's like a little thumb-shaped groove, like a little concave bit.
I might have another cashew actually.
Yeah, I don't have many in my mix, and I'm looking for more.
Yeah, same. Oh, they're good actually.
Noted.
I don't actually have cashews much.
Well, wherever we're gonna place them, we're gonna have to place them lower for their rarity in the mixes, because both of our mixes don't have many. Okay. I only found two. Oh, there's a third one.
No, I've got more than that, but I think compared to the other ones, there are. It should be maybe they're just like more spread out. But
Well,
yeah.
what are your thoughts?
The taste is actually really nice. They feel like more of a thing you can snack on and enjoy. Almonds, I feel like they just don't have as much flavor. Like if you just eat them raw.
Yeah. Well, this
So
is just my last cashew, and I'm chewing on what's left of it. What I really like about them is how soft they are.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
with
they're
the
very nice
almond,
as well.
it's like half soft, half hard inside, and then it has. If you look at like the boundary of an almond snapped in half, you can see a small ring of like harder flesh. I think it's called.
Yeah.
But with cashews, they don't really have that shell, and they're much smoother, and it's just they kind of get in your teeth a little bit, but the flavor immediately comes out, and it's much stronger and distinctive. And almonds you kind of have to chew, and then you kind of build up the flavor. So I really like these, and I think why they're not so much in mixes is I've noticed, especially in Canada when all the prices are higher up, you can kind of see more of a difference in like per nut, and for some reason cashews always seem to be more expensive.
Okay, maybe they are.
They're like one of the more expensive nuts, like especially compared
Yeah.
to almonds. So I think that's probably why they're rarer. And so if you do, they're really good. But if you want to buy a big bag of them, they're going to be more expensive, so that's to take into consideration. But for me, they're definitely above almonds. I've always liked cashews. I like the shape too, and how
the
they
shape's cool.
split in half, kind of twist. So
I'm gonna put them in B tier, below almonds though, because almonds just in general, even though they're not as good as a snack, just almonds are in more things, and the almondy taste and flavor can be really nice.
I was gonna put them in A tier because I enjoy them, but so like it's always like whenever I have a mix and there's like cashew, I'm like, oh, pleasant. And for almonds, for me, they're kind of like fodder because they kind of build up the flavor. It's just kind of like the majority, or like a large part of the mix, and then you get a occasional cashew, which I think is good. So I think that's why they work well in mixes, but then I feel like you can snack on them bunch, and so for me, I don't feel like they have to work well in much cooking, because my experience with nuts, because I like to snack on like dried fruit and stuff, is more weighted on just eating them in mixes and by themselves, not so much in cooking. So I'm gonna put them in A, but like, yeah, just A.
No, I can respect that. I just don't.
I don't respect your nut opinion.
I don't respect your nut opinion. Yeah, I don't have cashews as often. Almonds are just a bigger thing for me. But almonds go down for me. Almonds would be an A, but just generally, if you just eat an almond, they just don't taste like much.
Yeah, that's why
they have like the texture, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put them in B as well. So, what's
the next one's a chestnuts, which I don't have. Obviously, I don't think you have.
I've had chestnuts.
I've eaten them.
Roasted chestnuts. I don't think you can have them raw.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I know some like conkers and certain crests I think are kind of poisonous until you cook them. So I don't know if that's the case with chestnuts, but I think traditionally they are cooked, but I don't know if you have to cook them. Or like roast them rather. Like roasted chestnuts.
I don't I remember them like briefly, but I don't remember them too much. I know my dad really likes them. And I think like in Asian countries they eat them a lot. Like,
really?
I think.
I kind of always saw them as like a pretty British thing, like roasted chestnuts.
But yeah, they are British. I don't remember them though. I remember them having like an okay taste, but nothing I was super in love with.
Okay, well, I remember them roasted, of course, but like they have like the tough shell, obviously. And then you kind of break that open, and it's just like a big ball of just kind of pale nut. And then you bite into it, and it's warm, and it's pretty soft and chewy. And you chew it, and it gets into little bits, and it goes. The thing about nuts is it usually gets in your teeth, but because it's so kind of big, when it's roasted freshly, it's ever so slightly chewy, and because it's a large nut, it kind of
large nut.
Yeah, and it kind of gets all over in your mouth, and I don't know.
Nut in my
it's
mouth.
Just kind of a little grainy. Yeah, exactly. Nut in my mouth. It's just kind of grainy, and
yeah,
I feel like the texture's not too great. They taste okay, but also they're a hassle to kind of prepare and stuff. But it also like when you prepare it, it feels kind of fun and traditional, and you know.
They're kind of Christmassy.
Yeah, it's like fun to do it, but the nuts themselves aren't actually that great, and you have to go through a hassle to get it. So, for me, I'd probably say like D tier.
Wow, I was just gonna put them in C because I don't.
I was gonna put them in D because I don't particularly enjoy them, and it's like they're good for like a rare occasion, for just the feel of it, like roasting chestnuts and having them, and it's fun. But in general, I don't really have them much. I don't think many people do, and then you kind of have to go through the hassle of cooking them. And so I feel like they're good when you have them, but overall they're just a bit below average. To me, at least.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because I haven't really eaten them in a long time. I might follow your word, and put them in D.
Well,
because I don't really care for
C would make sense. I never too. It's just for me, it's how they're kind of one note. I know you can have like flavored things, but I think it's just like it's nice on a certain occasion and not any other time.
Yeah, maybe for the whole tradition aspect, I will leave them in C actually, because that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave them there then in
Okay.
C. We're going on to hazelnuts.
I think should we do peanuts first?
Do you want to do peanuts first? We can do
Yeah,
peanuts.
I want to do peanuts because I got one. I got some in my hand right now, and I really want to eat it.
I love peanuts.
Crunch.
Crunch. Peanuts are, I think, are the kind of nut I think of when I think of nuts. They're kind of like the face of nuts to me.
Right.
Like the Pikachu of nuts.
The Pikachu of nuts. Interesting.
But then you also get like honey roasted and dry roasted. Chocolate peanuts are a thing. Peanut butter, obviously.
They are really the most widespread nut. They're a big ingredient. And also, people seem to have the biggest allergic reactions to them.
Yeah.
Which is the only downside, really.
I'm not allergic, though. So.
I know, but like, if like someone in your dorm was allergic, then you couldn't have any peanuts.
Well, they might be, but I still have peanut butter in my drawer.
Oh no, but if there was a situation where somebody at work or in a class was allergic to peanuts, then
yeah,
they just gotta stay out because a lot of people have really sensitive, like they can get it from just the air.
Oh my God.
If you're eating peanuts and you're breathing, and then somebody across the room just gets a rash. It's like having a superpower on very specific people. You just like touch them and
take them out.
their arm swells.
Assassination.
Oh no.
I'm putting peanuts in S because they're just the nicest nut. I love peanuts. I love peanut butter and peanut butter chocolate as well. Even though they're probably one of the least healthiest nuts as well.
Oh no. Are they?
Mainly because you.
Is it because of the fat? They're quite oily?
I think they're quite oily, but also a lot of the peanuts are like salted and have like a dry rub. So you've got to buy the healthier ones, but the non-healthier ones are like so much nicer.
Yeah.
Regular ones are nice though.
Yeah. So I think with peanuts for me, it's just like the nut by itself is enjoyable because usually you get they break open easily. So when you get a mix, like sometimes in half, sometimes together, and when you like, it's funny, they're a little bit like a hinge. Because it's two sides, and then there's that little bump, and I love breaking them open, my front teeth, because they open really easily. They just like slide and snap, and then you just kind of pick out the little bump which connects them, like a little hinge, and it's just fun. It's just like tactile stuff, like as you're not just stuffing them into your face, you're grabbing it with your teeth, pinching it apart, and then kind of flicking out the bump. Yeah, and then there's just like peanut butter. I remember when I first had it. The first spoonful I was, this is disgusting, and then the second spoonful was, I love this, and then the third one was like, it's alright.
I actually got my dog some peanut butter for Christmas.
They love peanut butter. I've gone more into it because I hadn't had it for years, and because my sister is big on peanut butter, and so she would always have it. And then I was just a few months ago, I just went to go have it, and I was like, whoa, I forgot how good this is. And then, like, one of my favorite things, which seems to only be in Canada, is peanut butter pretzels.
Oh,
they are nice. So delicious. And they're not like the pretzel-shaped pretzels, but they're little, they're not circles, they're two squares, and they're domed over each other to make a little pocket. And then inside is the peanut butter.
That sounds nice.
And my friend gave me some to try, and it was the only time I had gone into their, we shared a room, but gone into their room and then just like grabbed some without them knowing, and then I kind of felt bad.
Oh no!
I kind of felt bad for doing that. It's the only thing that's made me do that. Yeah.
I might look for some. They look good. Like these.
Yeah, they are so delicious. They're expensive, obviously, but they're delicious. For me, I definitely put them in S. Because the only bad thing about them is if they're like in their if they're in their monkey nut form,
they're hard to open.
They're hard to open, and then also like the outer casing is really styrofoamy and like messy, and it doesn't feel nice to do. So that, to be honest, it's like a B for me.
Okay.
With the nut on, because it just, I don't know why, but they don't seem to taste as nice either. Because they have like the
I
little
don't
shell over them and it gets stuck in your teeth. So,
I don't usually find them in the shell. Usually over here they're always
well,
undone from the
I've had
shell.
them a few times, and you kind of have to go out of your way to get them not
Yeah,
peeled and
they
deshelled. But like that, just like a big bag of just peanuts is an S, but if they have the thing on them, then it's like a B for me. Just
mm,
below almonds.
that that would probably move it down a little bit, but because I don't
But
find them like that,
in
and I
the most in the form it's usually in, for
mm,
me, it's just like the best. So I'm putting in an S. Despite the
yeah.
allergies, that just means they're more hardcore.
Hardcore
You
nut.
know? If you're
Yeah,
with someone who's allergic to them, it just makes you want them more. They're prolific.
you want them to die.
I want peanuts to die.
But yeah, they're really good.
What's next?
Hazelnuts. Are we gonna do hazelnuts now?
Sure.
I have some hazelnuts
I
actually.
I haven't had them for ages, and then like a few days ago, my mum was like, "Do you want a hazelnut?" I was like, "Yeah." I bit into it, and it was an underwhelming experience, to be honest.
Yeah,
You don't
they're
like
kind of
go on.
yeah. The taste is very subtle. Um,
Hazelnut
and they kind of
flavoring
mm,
is really nice. Like I tried
yeah,
a chocolate spread, what's it,
mm,
Nutella?
yeah,
I That's another thing. Like peanut butter and Nutella is stuff I used to have as a kid, but I haven't had it for years, like a decade or something. And then I had it, and I was like, delicious. And then I've always forgotten that it has hazelnuts in it, and it's hazelnut flavored. And it always
yeah.
surprises me. But when you actually have a hazelnut, it's just like, it's kind of just like
It's kind of
it's like a
fine.
mixture
It's like
between like a peanut and, um,
an almond,
what are the ones I put in
maybe
D tier? I forgot their name.
a chestnut.
Chestnut. They're like a mixture between those because they've got the texture of like a peanut, kind of. They don't have much flavor. They're just
No,
kind of boring. They're just kind of round.
they're very gritty, by the way. Mine are really gritty.
I didn't notice that for mine.
I've had a
But they're not
couple.
like smooth cashews.
They do have an okay aftertaste.
That's like, for me, I think that's like the only really taste. I don't get much of a taste until like the kind of twang of the aftertaste. They don't really taste like anything until the aftertaste comes in for me.
Yeah, it's the aftertaste and the
hmm
hazelnuts.
I think the
But
best thing about them is definitely in cooking.
yeah, in cooking. I thought you said cocaine there.
No,
Yeah, in
I don't think they're in
cooking.
cocaine.
Yeah, I'd probably put them in C above the chestnuts because they're kind of gritty and as just normal nut they're kind of underwhelming, but they do have the chocolate like hazelnut.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree because they're just kind of average. They're kind of bland, so I would put them below average if it weren't for how effectively they've kind of been used in cooking, like the flavoring.
Mm.
So I think that definitely for me that's kind of like a C, which is unfortunate because now my tier list looks very generic because I have one in D, C, B, A, and S.
Mine is very interesting because there's just one in S, two in B, and two in C.
Hmm. Yeah. Whenever people do tier lists, it always just kind of looks like they always have like the same thing. I guess it's because of like the bell curve. They usually have like one in everything conveniently, and then they just throw a bunch of stuff in like. Actually, no, they don't do the bell curve. Whenever I see people do it, they always throw stuff in like A and B, and a bunch of stuff in S, and then like one
Yeah,
thing in F.
yeah. Macadamia nuts are next, by the way.
That's those ones which we had an argument about.
Well, not argument. We're just trying to figure out.
Well,
I
yeah,
think the
I thought they were
macadamia
like
nuts.
the small pesto things, but we'll treat them as macadamian.
Yeah, the macadamia are like a fairly well-known one, so I think that I have had macadamia nuts a few times, and they are pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I kind of like their shape. They're like almost chickpea shaped,
Mm.
but when you kind of bite into them and they're very even and they're slightly soft. To me, they're kind of a little more grainier, the chewing experience. And I think they taste okay. It's just somehow they have like a little bit too of an intense twang to them, which isn't like, it doesn't really taste like a flavor. It's just kind of potency of something.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean. I haven't had them in a long time though, but I remember not liking them.
They're
Uh,
good in with other stuff to like mix up the texture, but if you grab a big handful of them and shove them in your mouth, it's unpleasant. Just kind of,
Interesting.
because like when you bite into them, it's like juttery, you know? Like it's not
Oh, like
smooth. It kind of feel
okay.
they like when you bite into them, they like squeak against my teeth. And if you get a big handful
Oh,
of them and you kind of chew them, it's just kind of weird to me.
a bit like raisins, maybe? Maybe we ate like a bunch of raisins, or is
No,
that worse?
no.
Eating a bunch of raisins at
Oh,
once is
okay. So
painful.
there's like this cereal here. It's like
Yeah.
called like really generic. It's like grain mix or something, and
Oh
it
God.
has oat flakes, and then it has these sugared
Sugared
raisins.
macadamia
No, sugared
raisins.
raisins. Raisins are already concentrated in sugar because grapes are sweet, and then they're just like dried fruit. They're condensed, and so there's so much raisins in them, and I like raisins, but you just like you're having like these bland wheaty oaty flakes, right? And then you
Yeah.
just have every other spoonful is like mostly just sugar coated raisins.
Oh,
It's not. I just
that's
stopped having it because it's just way too
that's
much raisins. It's like half raisins. It's a bit like that. Raisins are
that.
great if they're in a mix, but
Yeah, yeah.
these things they're not so great plain and in a handful.
That reminds me of these sugared buns we had with too many raisins, and it was horrible. But we're talking about macadamia nuts and not
Anyway,
raisins.
yeah.
Anyway.
So I don't know because I feel like I like them and then I eat them and then they're always kind of disappointing. So I think I'd put them in D.
Same. Yeah, I put them in D. I
I
don't
don't know.
remember them
I don't know.
fondly.
I think I'm gonna put them below their chestnuts just because I
Mm.
think chestnuts are more novel. Hmm.
Yeah, my chestnuts are in C anyway, so
Okay. What's next?
um, pecans. That's it. Pecans. Don't have any pecans on me, but I have had pecans recently.
I loved going out in sixth form and just getting some pecan buns, pecan
Maple and pecan.
maple pecan
Yeah.
pastries.
Ooh.
Those are nice. Pecans just seem to go well with like pastries and sweet things.
Yeah, they do. They go really well.
Big fan of pastry. I love pastry. It's like my favorite thing. Like I love pies
Yeah.
because of the good pastry.
I love pastries. I went to Lidl today and I wanted to buy stuff, but there was so many people like by the entrance and buy all the bakery stuff. I was like, no, I'm not getting COVID. Nope.
Yeah.
I just bought the essentials really, and then
On a offshoot, apparently people are saying it's lockdown here now, but it's because in Canada we haven't really had many restrictions, right?
mm,
It's not as severe as the UK. We've never had a proper lockdown, but people are calling it that because it's like gotten more intense. It's like a double down on the rules rather than a
uh,
lockdown. But we
yeah,
basically kind of gone back to like how it was at the start, rule wise, but people are not cowering in their homes anymore.
yeah,
But for me, I didn't really keep up to date, so I assumed all this stuff was still happening. So
yeah,
like people like, oh, now it's mandatory to wear your mask when you go outside. I was like, well, I was doing that anyway.
yeah. Same. I
Sometimes I
always.
took it off if I was like almost arriving at home and the street was empty. But
Yeah,
apparently before you could walk around in the street with it
yeah.
off,
There's some
and
like
then you had to put it
stuff.
on to go in a building. But I just had it on the
Yeah,
whole time.
I always keep mine all the time when I'm out.
The only change which I thought was weird was in restaurants you didn't have to wear masks at all.
I
I
mean,
know
how
it's
are you
because
gonna?
you eat, but I always
Yeah,
thought it was weird. And now the only time you're allowed to take them off in a restaurant is if you're sat down in your own little enclosure because they've kind of
yeah.
segmented off all the
Clothes.
chairs now. I think that's good because before it was just kind of weird how the exception was restaurants.
Yeah. Well, they like closed them down during the lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, here it's been really lucky.
Mm.
Yeah,
What
but
about those pecans?
I was gonna say, what about them pecans though?
Pecans though.
Pecans, I think they cause corona.
F tier.
F tier, sorry.
No, I think they're A tier for me. They're not as high as peanuts, but they're nice. They have a nice flavor on their own. But within other stuff, they're really good.
Yeah.
They also look pretty cool. They have the weird like griddle thing pattern.
Yeah, I really like how they look. To be honest, I think them by themselves isn't too great, but I always just enjoy eating them anyway because they're kind of fun. They're fun shape, and then they taste good. I don't think the texture's too great. It kind of feels a bit stiff, you know? They kind of snap off. But it's different from most nuts, so it's good in mixes. It's great in bakery, especially pastry, and they're just fun by themselves. So I'm gonna put them in A. And I'm not sure if I want to put them above cashews because I prefer cashews by themselves and I could eat way more cashews. But in pastry and baking, they're really good, although they're usually too sweet. So I think I'll put them just below cashews, but still in A tier.
Solid reasoning. The next one's a pine nuts, which I think I've maybe had once.
I've never had a pine nut to my knowledge.
I am gonna just put them in D tier above the macadamia nuts.
Okay. When I look at them, I can imagine how they taste.
I think they were pretty boring. They just taste like a crunchy thing.
It looks crunchy. It looks just like a peanut, but it looks just like a peanut but much crunchier, and it doesn't really have a taste. It's like a hazelnut without the aftertaste.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. I probably had it in a mix before, but if I have, they were so boring and not stand out, I didn't notice. But I'm sure I've had them because I've eaten so many different types of nuts and different mixes. So although I don't really recognize them, I think that just means they're E. There's nothing special about them.
Oh.
And honestly, if I haven't heard about them much, and I haven't identified them as, yes, this nut, I don't have any memories or flavors associated to it.
Are they a bad nut?
They're not a bad nut. They're just no good at all.
That's no good.
That's no good. Yeah.
The macadamia, I'm not really sure. Macadamia and pine nuts, I'm kind of just both. Might just leave them in D, or I might move them down to E, and then move chestnuts down to D.
Okay.
Yeah, I might do that. And then we got pistachios.
I really like pistachios.
Yeah, same. They're really nice.
When my sister got them a few times, just bags of them, she was like, "Oh, I like these." So my mum bought a bunch of them, and I was like, "Hey, I want some," because I love them. I'm like, I don't think, "Oh, I want some pistachios," but whenever I see a pistachio, I'm like, "Oh, I want some.
Give me. I want the pistachios."
Even with the shells on, it's messy. It's not hard. You just kind of snap them. Aside from the ones that are mostly closed, and then you have to tear at them, and they it feels like you're pulling off your nails.
Yeah, or you put them in your teeth and try to do it like that.
Yeah, then you get shards.
It kind of feels like
mouth.
Clipping nails when you're opening them, because if you open them,
it's that level of kind of tedium. Some they just go, and then others you kind of have to work at it, and then you kind of mess it up, and then it tears off some of your skin.
When you get them, they taste really good.
Yeah,
and they're all green as well.
Yeah, see, the green is really unique, and it matches D tier. So
yeah, D tier,
the highest D tier possible.
I think they're not as prolific as peanuts, but they're still really, really good, and above pecans for me in A tier.
Wow. Yeah, they're slightly salty, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And then you also get salted ones, which just taste even more. The salted ones, I think are so great, because even though I end up eating them kind of disgusting, because even the shells taste I don't know how salt tastes good.
Yeah.
But it just tastes good. In small amounts, it just tastes delicious. And when you just have a shell and you lick the shell, like, you know when you go to the beach and it's a little gross, but you get like salt-kissed skin from the wind, and you kind of lick your hand, and it's like, well, this concept is gross, but my hand tastes delicious right now.
My hand tastes good.
And you lick your whole hand.
Mm.
And then you're disgusted with yourself because your hand's covered in spit. But you were
No,
just
I've
like,
never done
nice.
What the heck?
I did that as a kid a few times.
I don't remember that.
Okay, that's just me. But they're really nice, and just like the slight saltiness is so addictingly good. I could eat them for on and on and on. The only thing is, I don't really like pecan flavored stuff much. No, not pecan, sorry. I don't like pistachio flavored stuff.
I really want to try pistachio ice cream now.
Yeah, I think that's like an American thing, because I've seen it here.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I want to put it just above almonds and B tier, because they're just kind of like cooler almonds. It's like the frustration with some of the shells. I think if it's like, if it's plain my tongue is turning into rubber, I can't speak. If it's plain pistachios with the shell, because it's mostly shell, I would put them like just above almonds in B tier. But if they're salted ones, which is how they usually are, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'd probably put them just below cashews because of the mess of the shell, and that's literally the only reason.
I kind of like the process of.
I do like the shell, but
I get
sometimes it's frustrating, and also it's more messy rather than just like cashews. You just pick it up and eat it, and it's good every single time. Because like when you finish pistachios, you just have a bunch of ones which are hard to open, so you have to like smash it or bite down on it and get the sort of shell in your mouth. And it's really appealing at first, but then when you are left with the rest, it's just kind of messy. So, but A tier for salted, and then high B tier for regular.
Okay. And then the final one, walnuts.
Walnuts. They look like brains.
Yeah, right. If you have a walnut, they kind of look like pelvises.
Yeah, that too. It depends. Sometimes you look at them and they look like pelvises. I think the actual, like, the shell kind of looks like a brain, and then you pop it open, and it's like a pelvis if you hold it upright, and if you lay it down, it looks like a tiny, deflated
pelvis.
Brain.
They have very strange markings, and when you snap them, it's really satisfying. They have a really good crunch as well, like a really nice crunch. Not too hard, not too soft.
Yeah. You see, I'm always appealed by them, but to be honest, I don't think I really like them. Because when you eat it, it's kind of hard to envision. Because I haven't had them for a while, so like my tongue is trying to remember them. They're just kind of like really grainy.
Yeah.
And like it has a good snap at first, and then you kind of chew on it, and it's just like this. It tastes like it's dry. Like it's just absorbing all the flavor that was previously on your tongue. They're just kind of a bit weird. They look cool. I've never had them. I've never like cracked open. I've always had them.
Yeah.
Without the
shell. I've never
shell.
really had them with the shell.
But they look appealing. They look interesting. But when you bite into them, it's just kind of.
It's over. It's kind of dry.
It's over, Anakin.
The taste is really hard to pin down. They're very nice coffee on walnut cake.
I haven't had that.
Really nice.
I haven't really experienced walnut.
Otherwise, they're kind of. I hesitate to call them good, so I think they're C tier above hazelnuts.
No, they are F, because they're a disappointment.
Wow, we have to have an F.
You have to have an F. Oh well, to be honest, if I was gonna put anything in F, I'd put them in, because they always kind of like disappoint me. Like, I never have a walnut and then just kind of think, okay, I'm just like, oh, it's a shame that this doesn't taste better.
That was an amazing walnut.
I don't know. I don't actually think I'll put them in F. I think I'll probably put them just below the chickpea-looking stuff, macadamia nuts. Just because they're like, for me, the experience is similar. Like, I look at them and I think, okay, I want to have these. These look fun. Because I forget what they taste like last time. And then I bite into them and I'm like, But with macadamia nuts, I can have a few and then I go, But with walnuts, I'm just like, oh. I'm not, like, when I have a walnut, I'm not even bothered to, like, finish chewing it properly. I'm just like, oh, pick the wrong nut. Back to cashews. You know, I'm gonna put them in low D tier, so between macadamia and pine.
Okay. So now we've done the nut
Yeah,
list.
this one was missing a few, so I think we should do Brazil nuts.
I don't remember Brazil nuts.
Okay,
Anyway.
well, I'll talk about Brazil nuts because I really like Brazil nuts because they're big and in the mix for some reason there's like this weird scientific thing. I don't know, but scientists haven't figured out why yet. But there's something about the shape that means that in like a mix of nuts, they work their way to the top every time. And so when you open a mix, you're usually greeted with like just 3 or 4 massive Brazil nuts at the top. And I like them because they're so different from other nuts in size that you can just bite it, chew it, and then bite it again, and then chew it, and then have the rest of it. It's like more of an extended experience than anything else. And although they're kind of plain, it's just like a big almond that I just like them because they're a big variation in mixes, and I think they're just kind of fun how large they are and like their shape, and they're just like a good source of protein. If I had one, I'd probably put it just below almond, just because I think they're fun. Or probably, you know what, a more appropriate place would be in C tier, just above hazelnuts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Coconut.
Coconut.
Where does the coconut go? No, that's not a nut. We discussed that. Should we go over the tier list as a whole then?
Yeah.
Monkey. Ooh, ooh.
DK. Monkey.
King Kong. He likes nuts and he likes
Coconut
to bomb.
guns.
DK and Cranky, they have to argue if coconut is nut or not.
Or nut.
Nut or not.
To be
Next
to
time
nut
on
or
Nut
not
or Not.
to nut.
To not or not to nut.
That is
that
the
is
question.
the not nut.
That is the nut.
Oh no, this nut stuck
Bro,
in my throat
you
now.
just give me corona. Yeah, that's the
I just
downside
gave
of
you
nuts.
Hit me with your nut. Hit me with your best nut.
Bro.
That'd be peanuts.
I'm very happy I have MS Paint back in my life.
I got Photoshop now.
Bro, MS Paint's better.
I'm hustling. Yeah, I love MS Paint. Never
You remember when they said they would shut it down, and then people like, it's like, 'cause no one uses it, and people like, excuse me?
What do you say about my nuts?
I feel like we have to put like something in F. What's the worst
What's the
nut?
worst?
What is the worst nut in your opinion?
Well, we could say coconut because it's a fake.
Yeah, it's not real. You see,
Um,
a lot of people say they don't like coconut, and I don't get why. I like it. You think it's like a classic thing, like, oh, everyone loves coconut. It's a coconut. They're awesome.
yeah, I don't really know. Coconut maybe is a fake nut. Raisins are an F tier.
Raisins. I
Raisins.
love raisins.
I like raisins.
But sugared raisins are in F tier.
F tier.
My tier list, I should.
Unsalted.
Yeah.
Like how scuffed yours has become with editing.
What? Mine's scuffed? How's mine scuffed? I
the-
edited neatly, man.
You tried.
Oh well.
So we have peanuts and S. That's the same.
And
Yeah.
pecans, which I got cashews and pecans.
Yeah, but pecans are both in A. Then B, you have what is that in B?
Those are monkey nuts.
Brazil nuts.
Monkey nut.
I thought monkey nuts were peanuts.
Yeah, so they are, but I'm talking about when they have like the soft shell around them. Like it's messy, and the shell is an unpleasant texture. It's really messy, and then to me, when I'm just having them, peanuts just don't taste as nice, you know? Like you're like, oh, peanuts, and then you have to go through this whole thing about taking them off all at one time, or you just take them off one and then have a tiny peanut and then move on to the next one. I just feel like it's a lot of hassle and it gets in the way.
Mm. Put out a monkey nut to put out a monkey nut to put out a monkey nut to put out
Yeah.
BT. I put almonds and cashews, and you have monkey nut unsalted pistachios and almonds.
Yes.
Yes.
What would yours and be again?
Almonds and cashews.
Respectable. Respectable. I do not hate you. No hate crime for your.
You better not say that, otherwise I'll flag you for hate crime and you'll be
I
arrested
just said no hate
by
crime.
the British police.
The British police?
Yeah, they'll come over the sea.
We have to detain our citizen from Canadian soil. Here is my definitive tier list. The long awaited, the many times alliterated upon.
Sugar raisins.
Yeah. Hello everybody, hopefully you've enjoyed the video so far. After this it definitely derails and my friend joins in with the conversation. So if you're just here for the tier list, that's well and over. And I hope you enjoyed this pretty relaxed extended discussion about nuts. If you're still interested or just want something in the background, please feel free to listen on. There won't be any more visual jokes or anything. It'll either just be a zoomed in picture of a nut or just what left of the gameplay I have. Yeah, so unless you want to listen on, thank you for joining me, and please give me some feedback on how you enjoyed or how little you enjoyed this video, and if I should do more of this style in the future. I'm definitely going to be experimenting more with my channel, and whatever works well and I want to keep doing, that's the direction we're going to go. This video took way more time than I thought it would, but I'm pretty pleased with the results, so yeah, thanks for checking it out. I think we both learned how passionate we are about nuts.
Nuts are cool. Get some nuts.
If you were a nut, which one would you be on the tier list?
I would probably be I'm thinking maybe hazelnut. I'd be a hazelnut, I think.
Oh, very plain looking at first, but then just the slightest hint chocolate. Of an aftertaste. and when you mix it with some chocolate, then things get good. For me, I would definitely be unsalted pistachios, because I'm still in my shell. I'm peeking out. People can peek in. I'm green. No Shrek. Yeah. Not very salty, just because I don't want people to lick my shell.
Don't lick my shell.
Don't lick my shell.
So like and subscribe.
Wait, we're recording for a video?
I don't know if you were recording.
Wait, did you record?
No, I didn't.
You didn't record?
I was meant to record.
I said it was gonna go on your channel. I was recording the whole time, don't worry. Bye.
I've also got I sent it to my Discord, and now everybody's talking about nuts, and they're like, "What is wrong with you and your nut taste?"
Can I see this Discord? Can I join? Invite everyone to a voice chat, and we can have a discussion about nuts.
I don't know.
Let's do it. Let's find the biggest server we can find. Ask an admin to add everyone for a nut discussion.
I don't want to mess around.
Okay.
Oh, there are people in the.
We're recording a video about nuts. We want your thoughts on nuts.
Oh yeah, pistachios and cashews are like some of my favorites.
Same. Yeah.
I feel like walnuts are a bit of a C tier.
What about unsalted pistachios? If you go in...
I still like them because you can have like pistachio cakes and stuff, and those are great.
Exactly.
I feel like walnuts are B tier, but then peanut have a lot of versatility.
Yeah, and S because they're like in so many things.
Oh, you can get like barbecue sauce peanuts and stuff, and
yeah,
salted ones or roasted ones or like sweet ones.
Yeah, they're versatile, and it's not just it's not like just because they're peanuts. It's like just because they're widely known, and so there's more like implementations of them in different flavors.
Yeah. And if you think of something like Reese's,
That's just a whole brand based on peanut butter.
and it shows how they can be both sweet and savory.
I thought that was a unique aspect. Because, like, you can also get, like, barbecue cashews, but they're much more rarer. So, realistically, you still get much more variation with peanuts, even though I'm sure other nuts would taste just as good with different flavors.
I feel like if you just have the nut on its own, then cashews are far superior to peanuts.
I would say so, because they're much of a softer kind of flavor, while peanuts are pretty intense, and
Yeah.
you know what a peanut tastes like, but when you have a cashew, it's always like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah. And it's not often you get a bad cashew, because like sometimes I find that's probably the main problem with walnuts is it's quite common to get ones that don't taste as good.
Yeah, but then it's not too. If you have like a trail mix, like a mix, it's uncommon to get a cashew full stop.
Yeah. And also,
Seem to be more
cashews
expensive.
rolling curries can't be underrated.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Cashews in curries.
What?
Have you ever had cashews in curries?
No, I don't really eat curry because I'm not I'm baby. I don't like spicy food.
You don't have to have spicy curry.
I like kormas.
Also curry.
Has the consideration of curried cashews changed the positioning?
No, well for me, they are literally highest A tier. That's as best as you can get.
S tier? Question mark.
Yeah, but the S tier I feel like is reserved for like something that's really stands out, and I think just because of the how much peanuts are in so many things and how versatile they are. And also, like, the thing about cashews is it's like one of the only nuts where I could have a massive bag of them and eat them all and be fine, because they're not too intense, but they're still flavorful and pleasant because they're soft, right?
Yeah.
But bags of cashew nuts are way more expensive than like most other nuts, aside from maybe Brazil nuts. I don't know why they're so
We're
expensive.
still waiting
They're way more
for the nut
expensive
that
than
reaches
peanuts.
double S.
Yeah. If they made cashew nuts much cheaper
and in more
and
flavors.
made them in more flavors, then it would be double S tier. See, I'm glad that you also share a passion for nuts, and I think we scared of.
I mean, it has a nut allergy, so
What, of all nuts?
yeah.
Oh no.
I once nearly killed him by trying to feed him some Battenberg after not realizing, oh, marzipan, that's almonds.
Have we injured him?
Yeah. He's dead.
I think
Because we
even
have
just
we
like
have
talking
we have
about
nut breath right now because we were tasting some.
Not bread.
how close are you to your microphone?
My mic's like 2 inches away from my mouth.
In your mouth.
I got hurt. It's in my mouth now.
Well, now he like can't come back to the chat or he'll literally die.
Okay. Well, thanks for your comments.
Yeah, no, it was a good discussion. I enjoyed it.
Our research documents.
Yeah, we were going to make this as because he hasn't posted anything in his channel for ages, so we thought it'd be funny if we did like an official collaboration where he hasn't posted on his channel for years, and it's just a random video where he's tier listing nuts. It's just big.
Except we didn't record.
I did.
You did record it. What?
I said I did.
Oh.
So do you mind being?
No, I'd be happy to.
Are you still recording?
Yeah. That's why I said we were recording when I came in. And if people didn't want to be in it, then I'd just delete the audio.
You put on the screen, we raided a rival Discord server and scared them off.
I'm sorry, Dad.
There was cause I'm a mod in the my college's Discord server, and we were trying to make it like an official group with the student union. So we had like a student union representative in a call with the mods and the admin, and the mods we hadn't really spoken much. We were like in a couple of calls before, and one of them I hadn't talked to at all. And then the guy who runs it is like in his like late 20s, and he has a wife and stuff. And he was like talking about it, and then he mentioned me, and he was like, and Dad. And I always forget my name, and so it's always the funniest thing ever when like a guy in his like 30s calls me Dad. And it was like in a like official meeting too. It was like, so Dad here, he kind of runs the art side of the server. Isn't that right, Dad? And I'm like, yep.
That is
It's
peak
like some
name.
form of demasculinization or alphaness, where you're
Just Dad.
alpha mega Chad.
The funniest one ever was when I was on the Never Give Up server. It's like this. So basically, there's this guy on YouTube called Never Give Up, and he made like his video that went viral was like him talking about being ugly and physically unattractive, and how he's kind of struggled with that idea and how it's affected his social life, right? And I joined his server, and then one time he was having like this stream where he was talking with people from the server, and you'd kind of like chat for like 10 or 12 minutes and ask a few questions. And I was in line for it, but I was kind of doing something else. And then I just got like, he just like zipped me into the stream room, and I was like on live in front of hundreds of people. And I was like, oh shoot, I hadn't set up my mic. And so he was like, hello? Is anyone there? Because he's like Swedish or something. And then I plugged my mic in, and I was like, hi. And he was like, hello, Dad. And I was like, because I was like 16 at the time. And he just said, hello, Dad. This guy who's like in his mid-20s. And I was like, oh, hello. And then when I left, I watched this stream, and he was like, that guy was nice.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then he was like, because I said, oh, I kind of just chat with people if you want anyone to talk with. And he was like, if you want to talk with anyone, Daddy's in the Discord. And I was like, this is the best day ever.
I love your impressions of him too. The accent is great.
Thanks.
Now, this Artemis just tried to spot.
or he could play a better game. Bram, bram, bram.
Yeah, like Paladin.
Right, blood. Oh, sick burn.
Okay.
I haven't played that game in like 2 years or something.
I've been meaning to go back on it to see how bad it is.
I don't think my PC can run it.
You could before, Caleb.
His PC has
But now it's
aged.
The stuff you talked about with like a content creator noticing you, I think one of the two things have happened to me like that. One of them was a question in a podcast. So do you know the Yogscast?
Mm-hmm.
I think on the first or second newer podcast, one of my questions is on there.
Nice.
And also my favorite podcast, they used my artwork on one of their thumbnails. And it's
Is that yours in the background?
Yeah. I want you to sit down.
that's my art.
Is the whole video?
Yeah, that's just the background for the whole video and the thumbnail.
So they just put, bro, that has 3,000 views.
Also, you can see they've added my Twitter as well.
Ew, Twitter.
I don't think anybody searched. Yeah,
Of course.
but for them to like put it on like one of their videos for me is amazing.
We're managing.
Because I love them so much.
I'm quite.
Well,
Oh shoot!
they're
I
on
found
page.
it. Sorry.
Ooh.
It's so.
Yeah.
It's like kind of embarrassing because I know I was just speaking out of nowhere. Oh shoot! Okay, let me find it properly.
Welcome to the call,
Hello.
Daddy. Well,
Oh yeah, he
Okay.
introduces me as Daddy.
Daddy.
Oh no.
Let's move on to
Daddy.
the next one. Daddy, Daddy.
I
Well,
was off guard. I was doing something else.
Hello, Daddy.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Welcome to the call.
So I'm
How are
panicking
you
right
doing?
Thank you very
now,
much.
and I muted my mic.
Oh no.
Oh, hold on.
No,
Ooh,
how
hold
are
on.
you doing?
Oh, pardon. Oh yeah, I'm doing quite I'm quite well, thank you.
You
How are
hear the
you?
nervousness of my
Just
voice?
so
We're
weird.
managing, we're managing.
And also, whenever
So,
you put a
what's on your
video
mind?
on with your
Well,
no,
nothing in particular to be
I
honest.
get confused
But,
if
I
it's the
just wanted to
video
say
and
that
the
I really
Because I'm using
enjoy
the
sort
same
of the
mic
videos
for the last 3
that you
years.
put out and how you sort of vulnerable with your
Love that.
content.
Just like, hello,
I think
Daddy.
it's just really amazing that you can
People
reach
are
out to
saying
other
Big
people
Daddy
who
in
might
the
be
chat.
finding it difficult to sort of come to terms with themselves.
Definitely
this
Really
guy-
English,
like
not
how
Welsh.
mature you are about things.
what
And,
does this guy do?
how you address things
Somebody
in a
said
very
definitely English, not Welsh.
sort of it's
I
a
just
really
dropped
nice
a peanut.
environment that you can.
Hit me with your.
I mean, I imagine there's quite a lot of people who just want a relationship and no sex.
Yeah, well, for me, that's just a friendship. That's just what
Ye-
a friend is. Like, obviously, there's different types of friends, but that's
Yeah.
that's what I find in friendship.
I think this is gonna get into complex topic about what
Yeah,
human relationships
You're not
are.
really.
What is love?
Oh, when I went crazy, yeah,
When you took all the drugs.
yeah. So it was when I was working and we had a really long week and long day, and I was so tired, and I was cleaning some bathrooms, and I was just like, I can't work anymore. And I was like, well, I got to keep going because everybody's struggling. It's been a tough week, but we got to get through this, And then I was I basically set my mind on autopilot, and what my mind decided to do was just sing, "What is love? Babies, babies, babies. What is love? Babies, babies." Increasingly aggressive for about 2 hours until my voice was gone. And that got me through.
I mean,
that got me through the day.
whatever works for you, buddy.
Exactly. What is love? Babies.
Baby, don't hurt
'Cause it's
me.
like, baby,
Don't hurt me.
So I'm like, babies. Babies.
It's like all stop, but they don't stop coming.
Yeah, but what is love? Babies.
Well, the years stop coming and they don't 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 stop coming. Stop.
And they don't stop
So
coming,
much
and they
to
don't
see.
stop coming, and they don't 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 stop coming, and they don't
Thing
stop
is
coming,
with
and they
that
don't stop
is
coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't.
It takes quite a lot of breath
The
and
thing is,
effort.
they eventually have to stop coming.
Just a live stream and it just doesn't stop.